What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Automotive Life. My name is Lucky, and today we're going to be talking about how to start your rental car business. Now, I focused a lot on dealership stuff for the last few weeks, and I really want to get into how the rental car business is going to be so important coming in 2021. But before I do, I just want to take a moment and thank you guys so much. By the time I post this video, we hit 10,000 subscribers, which is truly amazing. 2 months ago, we had 5,000. Today, we have 10,000. Which is, like I said, I'm just extremely shocked. So thank you guys so much. If you haven't already, please subscribe, click the notification bell. I post great content like this all the time. Everything I do is about automotive, starting your business. If you have any questions, put them down in the comment section below. I personally answer every single one. And follow us on Instagram, automotive.life. And without any more shameless plugging, let's get into the video. Okay, one of the reasons why I believe that the rental car market is going to be so huge in 2021 is the subprime market. Now, the subprime market is basically a bunch of banks that lend to people with bad credit. Well, through legislative and regulatory things, they're being fined and penalized for doing predatory lending. So a lot of the banks that normally would give people with bad credit loans are no longer giving them loans. And little by little, this has started trickling down. If you've watched some of my videos before, you heard me talk about it. When I first started in this industry, I had 27 subprime banks. Now I only have 4. So just in a few years, all of them have pretty much gone to the wayside. So now with this new movement, everybody's basically taking Uber and Lyft, and they don't want to pay for a $300 to $400 car payment because they can just go ahead and take Uber for $5-6. But as people have noticed, Uber and Lyft are getting more and more expensive because of the regulatory things that states and the government's putting on them. So now they have to step up their game and start getting more money for rides, which means less people are going to be riding them. They're going to start looking at buying cars. Now, this tax season, which everybody knows in the car business, tax season is our Christmas. This is when everybody has $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 extra from their tax returns to put down on cars. Now, when these people show up, they're only going to have, $2,000 to $3,000 because some of these people are going to get taxed because of the whole Rona thing and pandemic. Don't want to say too much because I'll get demonetized. But, they're going to be taxed because of that. And they're going to lose a lot of their tax returns. So normally these people that really bad credit are going to need $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 down on like a $15,000 car. They're not going to get it. So now they have no choice. Now they have $2,000, maybe $1,500. But these people with bad credit still always want to drive the nicest cars. So they're not going to want to drive an older car for cheap money. That's where the rental car market's going to be extremely strong. Here in Las Vegas, we have a lot of people that will not buy an older car. So we tell them, okay, I'll tell you what, you give us $1,500. That pays for a month and a half of you driving this 2018 Nissan Altima. Most of them are okay. They're like, yeah, that's great. I was like, yeah, just keep paying, $275 a week. You drive it, no maintenance, no nothing. You just come by, we'll check your oil, do your oil change, and get you out the door. And we're getting more and more of these people. So right now, we have a little over 20 vehicles out on the road that are being rented out constantly. So we're just started restocking our inventory because my last batch, we actually sold off with our company. So I'm just restarting up our Turo and some of the other accounts that we have to get this thing expedited because I know that here in the next few months, all these people that are going to have these tax money are not going to have anywhere to go. And this is where you need to capitalize on it, especially if you're in a small market or a market where there's not a lot of stuff, not a lot of banks lending. Another reason why it's going to be so great in 2021 is a lot of people right now are working from home. A lot of people are doing side hustles, so they do not qualify for traditional financing. One of the things that I've seen a lot, especially nowadays, is like we had a lady come into the dealership the other day and, she's been on her job for 5 years, on time, all the time, great employee, but she got laid off for 3 months because of the whole pandemic. Well, the casino opened back up. She got back in there, but all the banks declined her because of that gap in her job time. So a lot of these people, by the time they get their tax return, they're only going to have 90 days under their belt, and the banks are just going to kick them back out. So you can qualify them people with rental cars, as well as we have a lot of people that do cash hustles. Ever since this whole pandemic, we have people that are working from home, that are doing side hustles. Hey, I'm making candles online, I'm building websites, I'm doing e-commerce, I'm day trading on the side. The The most beautiful thing about rental cars is it doesn't matter what you do for a living, you qualify for it. So especially here in Vegas, we don't care if you are a professional gambler, a stripper, a substitute pimp, whatever it takes. Hey, if you got the cash, you're approved. I'm gonna give you the keys to the car and you can go ahead and take off. And the best thing is with rental cars is the people never own them, but they want to drive these nice cars. So we have customers right now that we basically get them started in something affordable. We do weekly rentals. So when they first come on our program, we say, hey, you know what, folks? We're going to get you something like a 2015 Hyundai Sonata, something that we bought for like $6K at the auction. Hey, we're going to get you rolling for like $250 a week. You know, after you make a few payments and you do good, then we'll go ahead and bump you up to a nicer car. You know, we have some 3 Series, a C-Class. You know, we have one S550 that we rent out as well. We usually do that daily on Turo, but we do have people that rent it out for $1,000 a week. It's insane, but they actually do. So you start your program, start building it that way. You get the cars, you start lining up your customers, and it's a great business opportunity. Plus, these people never own the cars. They just keep paying on it. And we've had people that have been in some of these cars, like on one of my other videos, we had a traveling nurse for almost 9 months. She was in one of our cars. She paid the car off herself, and now the car's still driving around making money, and it doesn't cost us $1. So if you're doing $250 a week, that's $1,000 a month. Now, if you're going through your own personal platform, you get to pocket the money. But if you're going through third-party apps like Turo and Haggerty and all these other ones, it's going to cost you money. Now, I won't go into that because that's a lot of stuff to go into. I actually have a course. If you go to my website, I actually teach people how to do everything, set up your website, set up all your third-party things. But just for now, I just want to give some general information. So when you start your rental car company, the biggest thing that you're going to have to find is insurance. Most insurance carriers in this industry are very, very expensive, and you need to have a minimum of anywhere from 3 to 10 cars. Now, before you start this process, you can actually sign up for Turo. Turo can at least get you started day one in renting. You can guinea pig this project, guinea pig these ideas, put your personal car out there for 20 bucks a day. It's not really about making money. I just want you guys to put the car up there and see how the process works. As you start getting some rentals, then you can go ahead and start trying other things. Now, there's a lot more platforms that we use. There's multiple companies for multiple different types of cars. There's different type of coverages you could pick for each vehicle, but just for the sake of shortening this video so it's not 7 hours long, we're just gonna tell you that that's the easiest way to start right now is get your personal car on Turo, get that started. Next thing, we need to get you set up legitly. Best thing about being a rental car company is it's almost like being a dealer. You could basically rent to own these vehicles to all these people, but you don't have to have the crazy inventory. You don't got to have the massive lot. One of the things I tell people is go to a hotel. Most hotels will love to have a small independent rental car company in their facility. So if you go to a hotel room and you say, hey, or a hotel and you say, hey, I want to put a little booth right here next to your concierge, charge me 300 bucks a month. I'll park my cars in there and I'll be able to take care of your clients as well as my other clients. So now, so now you have a real business address that you can bring people to. It's nice, you got walk-in traffic, which is always great. You can actually do this virtual. I show people how to do it online as well. And you start building your business. Now, if you do the rent-to-own model, it's huge. It's just like buy here, pay here. If you haven't seen some of my videos about buy here, pay here, watch them. If you think buy here, pay here is insane, rental cars is even more insane because the people never own the cars. They just keep renting them, and then they get bored, they take them back. And the best thing is about rental cars, if 5 p.m., if you don't make your payment, I shut your car off. That's it. If you do buy here, pay here, or if you're a bank, I have to wait for you to get 1, 2 payments behind before I have to 1, send you a letter, and then 2, I have to go chase your car for repo. With rental cars, you send that car out and their money ends, let's say they paid till the Friday. And at Friday at 5 p.m., they don't come in with a check. You could be like, hey, you folks need to come in, work with them, try to do what you can do to build your relationship with your customers. They come in, fantastic. If not, all of my cars have GPS lockdown and shutdown. So the second they do that, shuts off. So the next time they stop the car, it will not turn on unless they call me. And guarantee you, when that car won't start, they will call you first thing. Oh, I'm on my way, I'm running behind. No problem. You push the button, car starts back up, they drive and make your payment. If they don't come back, you just shut that thing off again. You always have 2 sets of keys for every car, so you go pick up the vehicle. So you don't have to wait 2-3 months to get your vehicle back and worry about getting it damaged, exposed to, whatever else is out there in the world. You have that ability to get that back, and on top of that, it's in your name. You can walk by and pick up the car, go pick it up with your keys, and in most states, you don't have to hire a third-party repo company. You don't have to do a lot of legal paperwork because it's in your name. It's your car, so you can go get it. They're just renting it from you. Now, there are some risks to these things. If they steal your car, legally, it's not stealing. It's embezzlement, or it's considered grand larceny. They will not consider it a stolen car because it is a rental vehicle. So if any of these things happen, you gotta make sure that you have your GPSs set. I have a friend of mine in Atlanta, which I won't say their name. They had a customer that took off with one of their Porsches, and it was almost impossible to find. And it took them, I think, about 2-3 weeks. I think they ended up getting the car. It was damaged. I think they sold it to another person. People will do some crazy stuff with your cars. So you want to make sure you protect yourself by getting a really good GPS module. Now, the next thing you want to do is, once you have all this stuff set up and you have, 1 or 2, 3 cars that you're getting ready to go, you need to start on your marketing process. You need to really appeal to as many people as you can. I strongly recommend Facebook and Instagram ad campaigns. With just a few $100s, you can get the word out, and you'll probably run out of cars before you run out of customers. It's one of those things where people just, once they find out that they can come to your lot today, drive away with $1,000, you will get people, they don't even care, like, hey, this $1,000 only gets you like 2.5 weeks. It's okay, I just need a car. So they'll give you $1,500. They drive the car around, you call them up, hey, you gotta bring your car back tomorrow. Okay, they bring the car back. Sometimes they'll come back, hey, I just got an extra $500. No problem, here you go. Like, we have some clients that actually pay us daily for cars, which is crazy. They insist on going through Turo, the app, and keep renewing every single day just to build it, which is kind of hilarious. But hey, you know what? If it works for them, that's fine. Now, next thing we're gonna talk about is some of the highline and exotic cars. Okay, now, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you wanna do exotic cars, it is almost impossible to get insurance for them. I don't care what you say, who you know, whatever else. That's one of the biggest things you'll learn if you start this industry, is that there are no companies that will write new policies. The reason for this is there's too many idiots out there that don't know how to properly rent out cars. Now, I won't give out too much because, like I said, I have a bunch of stuff in my course, but make a quick observation is, it's all about depreciation when it comes to exotic cars. A lot of these people buy these $300,000 cars, they rent them out for $2,000 a day, and they pocket all the money, and they make the minimum $2,000 or $3,000 payment, but they don't pay for the depreciation of miles. They never pay for the insurance. They go cheap, cheap, cheap. They want to be ballers and have 4, 5, 6 Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff like that. I have a customer, he's in Houston, Texas, and that's all he does. And I'm telling him right now, he's on a road to like really bad places, but he's using that money to buy more exotic cars. But I'm like, what happens when your cars get too many miles, they get over depreciated? Rental cars is like a ticking time bomb. Every month you need to allocate X amount of miles, X amount of dollars to paying the principal off. And once you hit a certain threshold, whether it's a year, 16 months, whatever else, or a mileage threshold, 20,000 miles, 30,000 miles, you sell it, because when it comes to exotic cars, the depreciation curve is massive. So let's say you have a 48 Ferrari, and you want to rent it out for, let's say $1,000 a day or $1,500 a day, and you got to rent it out for 25 days a month, and you think you're balling out of control. But now you start racking up these miles, and your $300,000 bill at the end of the year is probably, your loan is probably around, let's just say $280 for good measure. So you paid off a good chunk, you got a good interest rate, you paid about $280, maybe $270 on your loan. But now your car is worth about $250 at the first year. But most of these people don't continue to pay on it. So when they ride into the second year, now your car has even more mileage. Let's say you got 30,000 miles. Now you're getting whacked. Now your car is like worth 180, but you still owe at the next, 18 months, you owe like maybe 220. And that gap keeps getting bigger and bigger. And what happens is when these guys take these cars to the auction, they lose big time. They're like, well, I owe $300,000 on this car, but the auction's only gonna give me $200,000. Well, yeah, because you beat the shit out of it and you racked up a bunch of miles. So what these guys do is they get scared, 5 or 6 cars, you're talking $500,000, $600,000. They don't know what to do. They crash and blow up the cars and claim the insurance. So thanks to these idiots, now you people like you and me can no longer get exotic rental car policies. So that's why it's so hard. And a lot of people do it illegally. They get a dealer's license because technically you're covered. But if you rent your car out to somebody else and they crash it, it doesn't cover them. That's it. They're out. So you lose that money. But they do it just so they can get around without paying the extremely high insurance. Now, there are ways to get bonds and stuff like that, which, like I said, is more complicated. I leave that in my class. But if you're going to do exotic rental cars, the biggest thing to start off with is Turo. Turo is one of the few platforms that will let you put something up there about 80 to about 150K. I think once you get over that, they start blocking you unless you're an actual business and show them a license, because they don't want to take the risk of renting one of these exotic cars and then having one of their customers crash it and total it out. But it is extremely lucrative. It is really good money. There are several people here in Vegas that make really well living off of doing this, and you can do it in pretty much any market. I tell most people, you know, just like me, like my car, I plan on buying something really nice in 2021. I don't know if it's going to be a Rolls-Royce Wraith or a Huracan or something like that, but the whole reason I'm going to buy it is my goal is to rent it out 2 to 3 times a month. That's it. Just enough to pay my insurance and my payment. So the few days that I do drive it, it's free. I get to own this car for free. So, you know, start off with something like that with Turo, do some more research. I strongly tell people don't do exotic cars because it's not as great as what it is. You really have to have a group, or you really have to have a in with people. A few people I know, like the gentleman I know in Houston, he knows a bunch of oil people. He knows people in the music industry. This person I know in Atlanta, same thing. She has a bunch of people in the music industry and her little group of people. A lot of people here in Vegas, they have contracts with casinos, entertainment companies, you know, your typical rich tourist that's coming here just to party and rock star out for a weekend or so. So it's a very hard market to get into. I always tell people the biggest money makers is commercial and U-Haul type of vehicles. People laugh and they think that, no, there's no money in it, you can't do anything with it. Well, there's certain rental car apps where you could actually rent out U-Hauls and some of these trucks from anywhere from $50 a day to $300 a day. And I didn't believe it till I actually talked to one of my friends in construction. When I bought a crusty U-Haul truck from the auction for $5,300. It was a 2013 Ford F350. It had the 5.4 V8, had a big, I think it was like a 21 foot cab on the back end with a ramp. And I ended up switching that out and getting a tailgate lift. And I was like, well, what should I price it at? And they're like, well, just put it at $250 a day. So I ended up doing it, and a construction company booked it from me for an entire month. After that, they called me back, hey, can we extend it? Can we extend it again? Can we extend it again? They extended it for 6 months as they were doing some of the casino builds during the whole pandemic. I was shocked. So now they finally called me and they said they're returning it next week. The car's almost 5 times paid for itself over, which is insane. So there's a lot of avenues to do to get into the rental car industry to make some money. But please get into it now, because all these dealerships are going to be hurting when it comes to selling these people cars, because they're not going to have the banks to do it. And a lot of people don't have big money to do buy here, pay here. That's why rental cars is so great. And plus, there's a lot of different types of lenders, which we show you, that do rental car lending. You can actually get lines of credit, loans, and stuff like that to get these cars to rent them out to other people, where dealers, it's hard for us to get loans and lines of credit to go buy cars to sell to other people. And once we sell them, we have to pay them off. With rental cars, you make monthly payments just like a regular car. You know, so if you're paying $400 a month, you know, but your customer's paying you hopefully $800-900 a month for that exact same car, you're paying down the car plus a little bit of that depreciation, and you're stacking your chips every month. And it's the snowball, just like if you watched my Buy Here, Pay Here video. it just adds up and up and up. So like I said, I really wanted to make this video. I don't want to go too much in detail because there are a lot of people that did buy my rental car course, and I don't want to give away all the good stuff, but I want to definitely leave a positive image in your head for 2021 about why it's so great to get into rental cars, especially if you don't have a lot of money. If you're just working out of your house, there's no laws that say you can't actually do it out of your home. Just like dealers, you have to have a physical location. Some rental car companies, they allow you to use your personal address for a business. If you get any types of loans or lines of credit, unfortunately, you're going to have one. But like I said, go to a hotel, rent a little tiny space where you can put your kiosks, and for $200-300 now you have a physical business location. You could start this up in your house, in your pajamas, on your cell phone with your Turo app. Start renting your cars out today and start making that money. It's really not that hard, just takes a little bit of dedication. But anyways, if you find this video useful, please smash the like button. I truly appreciate it. If you have any other questions, once again, put them down in the comment section below. I personally answer every single one. Subscribe if you haven't already. And once again, check us out at Instagram at automotive.life, and we'll see you next video.